Hello friends, welcome to Yayasspoon. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and thank you.
Sweet sausage in little pieces and a layer of basil leaves right underneath the cheese?
That's right.
That's Carmela's lasagna.
You're talking about? You always think the worst of everybody, Junior.
Oh, fine. Enjoy your lasagna. Just don't come running to me.
I've got a treat for you today, the Garden State's most gracious hostess, Carmela Soprano's famous lasagna. The recipe is straight from the 2006 book, Entertaining with the Sopranos, which includes a compilation of Carmela's recipes. Her secret ingredient, layers of fresh basil leaves. Like many of you, this will be my first time attempting this recipe, so we're all learning it together today. So let's have some fun and get to cooking. A fun fact about basil, it can refresh you when you feel tired and calm you when you feel tense or anxious. The herb is both antiseptic and cleansing, helping the body to overcome all manner of infections. It's a win-win. For the list of the recipe ingredients, please see the description area. We'll begin with preparing the meat sauce first. Start by chopping up the canned, peeled tomatoes. Add the tomato puree. In a large saucepan or pot, add the olive oil to heat. Add the onion. Allow the onion to sweat a bit. Then add garlic and continue cooking over medium heat, stirring until the onion and garlic are softened, about 5 to 7 minutes. Remove the casing from the sausage links before adding to the pot. I like to break up the pieces a little bit before adding. Stir in the Italian sausage, breaking up the lumps with the back of a spoon or spatula. Now add the ground beef and break it up until the meats are browned throughout. If there's extra fat in the pot, tip it and spoon some of it out and discard it. As you can see, there's quite a bit of extra fat we don't want. Continue to stir until the meat is nicely browned and crumbly. Now it's time to add the tomatoes and stir. Break up any large chunks of tomato at this point. Add the tomato puree and stir. Add about a half a cup of water to the can, swirling it around, and add to the sauce. Not a bad idea to keep some water on hand in case it needs more during the cooking process. Add salt to the sauce. The recipe left out the amount of salt and pepper, so I'm going to improvise by starting with 1 teaspoon. I can adjust it once the sauce is done, plus the tomatoes and puree have a little salt already. Reduce the heat to low and partially cover the pan and bring the sauce to a simmer where you can see little bubbles. Stirring occasionally throughout the cooking process until the sauce is thickened and the oil has separated from the tomatoes, about 1.5 hours. The sauce should be ready now to taste. It's been over 1.5 hours. It just needs a little bit more salt. I added 1 more teaspoon and a pinch more of pepper. Then basil. Tear the basil in and stir. The meat sauce can be prepared and refrigerated a day ahead to save on time. Cover and set the sauce aside to cool while we move on to the next step. In a large pot, bring at least 4 quarts of salted water to a boil. Also set up a large bowl with cold water. You can add ice cubes like I did. We'll be placing the cooked pasta in the cold water to stop the cooking process. Add a few pieces of lasagna to the boiling water to cook, stirring gently until tender but slightly underdone, al dente. Scoop the cooked pasta out of the water and cool it in the bowl of cold water, then transfer it to the kitchen cloth to allow the pasta to sit. Set aside a sheet pan or 2 with a kitchen towel. The recipe specifically says do not use a terry cloth towel. Cook the remaining pasta the same way. Then allow the pasta to sit and dry. Place a rack in the center of the oven and preheat the oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Now it's time to assemble the lasagna. Here's a yaya tip: have all of your ingredients in front of you. In a bowl, add the ricotta. You may need to break it up a bit. Add salt. Again, the recipe left out the amount of salt and pepper, so I'm going with 1 teaspoon to start. And combine until smooth. Taste in case you need to add more salt and pepper. I added a pinch more of salt. Grab your pan and spread about 2 cups of the sauce to the bottom of the baking pan. Place a few sheets of lasagna in the pan in a single layer, overlapping them slightly. Evenly spread about 1/3 of the ricotta mixture over it. Sprinkle with about 2 tablespoons of the grated cheese. Make a layer of basil leaves. You can simply tear them. and add a layer of mozzarella slices on top. Make 2 more layers the same way. Top with the final layer of lasagna sauce and the remaining grated cheese and any extra mozzarella. The lasagna can be made ahead to this point by covering with plastic wrap and refrigerating several hours or overnight. Now it's ready to be baked for 45 minutes. Time to check on the lasagna. Once it's bubbling around the edges, remove from the oven and let it stand for about 15 to 20 minutes before cutting into it and serving. Star-worthy and so aromatic. Smells like what I imagine Carmela's kitchen smelled like. Any leftover sauce can be refrigerated up to 3 days. It also freezes well.
Mangiamo, let's eat.
Now for the best part, time to taste Carmela Soprano's famous lasagna. Oh mamma mia, the meat sauce is spot on. The sauce is nice and balanced with basil notes throughout. As far as the lasagna goes, I can taste the ricotta. Overall, Carmela's lasagna with basil recipe is a labor of love, but worth it, folks. Give it a try and let us know how it turns out for you. Remember, sharing is caring. Enjoy, guys. You got this, and God bless. If you found this video to be helpful, please give us a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on upcoming recipes. And feel free to leave any comments or questions, and please let me know if you decide to try the recipe.
That's real good.